Hey fools, welcome to another foolish investing video from the Motley Fool. I'm Mark Rogers. Now today I'm going to talk a bit about BP. It's one of the most widely held stocks here in the UK. It's also been a pretty miserable few years for BP shareholders. No sooner had they gotten out of the financial crisis when disaster struck and at the debacle in the Gulf of Mexico. A real tough old time for BP shareholders. As a result of that, the gloom has held over the shares pretty much for the last 4 years, honestly. And so today I really want to ask whether or not you should wait for the gloom to clear before investing in BP, or whether you should sort of take the plunge and just go for it. I think the first point that I'd like to make is that obviously the stock market hates uncertainty. It despises uncertainty more than just about anything else. And so if you do wait for the things to look rosy for BP, there's a good chance that the shares are going to be some way higher than they are today. So I think that's definitely something worth considering in this case, because for me, without the discount on the shares, without the shares looking depressed, I'm not really as interested in making an investment in BP personally. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a very solid, respectable, gigantic business offering a pretty attractive 5% yield. And the company has done quite a lot to turn itself around since 2010. I especially like the fact that it's shifting its strategy towards fewer projects, but potentially more lucrative projects. I think that's important from a capital allocation standpoint. I think they're in a better shape than they were in 2010, got more oil. So okay from that standpoint. But at the end of the day, BP does compete in a really tough sector. And despite being a massive company, it's still very much at the mercy of the price of oil. It's a very capital-intensive business. Pulling a lot of oil out of the ground in deep ocean water is very expensive. A lot of high fixed costs. And so for me, it's not the sort of opportunity that I would be looking to purchase at a fair price or a high price. What makes it really interesting to me is the fact that it's relatively depressed. I think it's cheap. And so to circle back to my first point, I think if you end up waiting for all the gloom to disappear and things to look rosy for BP, I think you end up paying a price potentially that is less attractive and doesn't particularly interest me personally. So take a look, see what you think, and fool on.